Right, good evening everyone, and welcome back to another round, which is round 4 of the Indian Racing League F2 Season 2. And we will be racing in Russia this Sunday. I hope you all have had a good weekend, and I hope you enjoyed the Imola Grand Prix race as well, with Max Verstappen winning and almost leveling the championship with Lewis Hamilton, who was a bit lucky after his crash. Nevertheless, back to the virtual world, I guess, and as we are just waiting for the drivers to ready up, and we will be racing around the Sochi Autodrome circuit in Russia. It has been a good season so far, and let's see that we get plenty of racing today as well. As the screen shows, it's a one-shot qualifying. We will follow around the lap with probably one of the drivers on their onboards, and let's see how they navigate this tricky circuit, especially sector 3, where it's very easy to lose traction as well. If you're watching, just let me know if I am visible, or rather I am audible, sorry, because I am not sure if my voice is coming through. It's overcast here as we are waiting for people to just put on their select their tires more or less, because there is nothing much which can be changed. It's a fixed setup for everyone, so the cars are exactly the same, so not much to change. We're just waiting for Caesar, who's racing with some other ID today. And let's follow Noaves, who is leading the championship as he navigates turn 1, which is not exactly a turn, but technically it is on paper. And that's the heavy braking zone into turn 2, and he gets it right and does take a bit of the curve but doesn't scrub off much speed, so he should be fine for now, as this is almost back out in these cars as well, the Parabolica. And that's turn 3. It's Apex minus, keeps the car on the left for the next right hander with the end of sector 1. And at this point in time, you can see it is Herschel actually we are following, and he's P4 right now with Nova back in P6. So Herschel is one of the faster drivers we know. He made his debut in Spain, I believe, a couple of races back, and had a good race in Hungary as well. Right. So now on to the back straight is Herschel. This is also one of the longest straights on the circuit, and a potential overtaking opportunity due to heavy braking at the end of this sector 2. And a braking zone again, because you are kind of turning as you are braking, but he takes that rather nicely and patient on the power at the exit, as he's in P4 for now and should be up for a good points finish, or a good qualifying position rather, as the lap goes on. He's just gone into P3 now, as VFix seems to be set on pole, apart from a couple of last corner which is yet to be done, as Herschel slightly misses the apex on the entry, but that is a lap around Sochi, and Herschel is P4 with a 145.5, I believe. Caesar was disqualified, so he might have invalidated his lap time somewhere, as VFix puts in on pole again, and it's a considerable gap to Nova in P2, the 45.0. That's to Underp. It's in P3 with a 45.4, so he has put a really good lap in here. Herschel in P4 with a 45.5. Sid Venkatesh with a 46.0 in P6. Serial Killer in P7. Phantom in P8. Arjun, that's a surprisingly low qualifying position for him. Maybe lack of practice, we don't know yet. In P8, Abhi in P9, and Sonic Hawk in P10 were the last people to put their lap times in. There are 3 people who were not able to put the lap in, and will start at the end of the grid. As we wait for drivers to again be ready for the formation lap, which will happen. Right, so it's slightly sunny than what it was in qualifying, so I don't think there is any threat of rain here. And let's see how drivers get along this first lap nerves around the circuit. Being on pole, not always advantageous over here, considering it's a very long run down to the first braking zone in turn 2, and we have often seen people in P2 or even P3 getting a tow from the car in front and leading after the first or the second turns. So let's see how these guys do their starts, as we are following VFix here, as most of the drivers are weaving and trying to get temperature into their tires. Overtaking, as we discussed, turn 2, which is this turn right now, and there is a long back straight at the end of sector 2. This is where the overtaking opportunities are, and in terms of the tire strategy, it is a one-stop race for these 14 laps. It's a long lap around here considering the lap time, and it's a super soft tires which people have fitted on right now. So this is one of the few races where we have super soft tires, and they should be going on mediums. If we see two people on mediums, which is Nova and Sid Venkatesh, so they are the ones who are an alternate strategy, so we will have to keep an eye on them as well. But it should be an easy one stop. No other tires are available, so you can't really go for softs or hards or anything like that, and medium tires should go the distance even if you are pitting early. But the problem in pitting early is you need to have a pit stop after lap 3. That's a mandatory pit stop which is required in these feature races, so it should be an interesting one. And what's worthy to note here is even the people who started outside top 10 have also gone for the super soft tires. So this is the turn now where another overtaking opportunity is there, and if people get a good run on the cars ahead of us, ahead of them in the previous corner, this should be an overtaking opportunity as well. Right, so we are in the final sector now, and Nova should be looking to extend his championship advantage over here if he's able to just get ahead of VFX into turn 1, but considering he's on the harder tire, that is easier said than done. Right, so formation lap is almost done, as the cars are now taking their respective positions on the grid, and we should have 5 lights soon on the grid. Right, so 3, 4, 5 lights out, and away we go. There was a good delay before the start, as that is a brilliant start from Herschel, who's already into P2, and he would be looking, can he get VFX? I don't think yet. He will think the better of it, as there's a car who has just gone down, that serial killer who's lost a lot of positions there, and there's another car around which is possibly, is there a safety car? I'm not sure if there's a safety car, but the cars seem to be going around slowly. There are yellow flags for the entire track, but I am not sure if there's a safety car. But Arjun, is that really Arjun? It is. So what a start from Arjun. And I think there's some confusion going around, as there are yellow flags, but it seems like, yeah, there's a safety car. There is a safety car. There you can see. Yeah, that's on the top left. So it is a safety car. So that's a lap 1 safety car, and serial killer, Redstone Duck, and Herschel other people who have lost a lot of positions, but I think the biggest gain in positions would be for Arjun. Let's see, as Thakur has completely missed his breaking point and he's got a 5-second penalty plus some damage, I believe, to his end plate. Yes, he has. So in terms of positions gained, Arjun has gained 6 positions, so has Caesar. And Redstone Dog has lost a total of 10 positions. Let's see if he needs to pit. He absolutely does. There is no front wing there. And in terms of Sonic Hawk, no, I don't think there's any damage there. Let's Serial Killer most definitely has damage from the contact he had. I'm not exactly sure what happened with Serial Killer because I don't know, to my eye I didn't see any contact there, as we are waiting for Herschel now, and Herschel does continue, so he doesn't have any damage. Serial Killer did, and yeah, Thakur gets another penalty. That's Vedant who has got a penalty for speeding into the pit lane, and as expected there are 3 drivers into the pits. And VFix, I'm not sure what has happened to VFix. Oh, that's just the lobby. That's just the lobby doing its own thing. And I believe Thakur has left the session, but he is in the pits, so his car will come out. And let's see if he's able to rejoin back. But yes, so it is VFix who is leading the race right now, with Arjun behind him, Mr. Venkatesh and Noah both on those medium tires. So that's the alternate strategy, and this should be a fun restart as well, even though it will be a rolling restart. So what a start from Arjun here. And Noah almost got collected. Noah and Sid Venkatesh both almost got collected in that incident on the first lap, but I think they have just gotten away with that. And VFix has done a good start. I think he has maintained his P1 and did not get involved in any incidents, so he should be fine. The only thing he is focusing on right now is ensuring that he gets good temperature in his tires, because safety car might be in this lap. Also, there are 2 cars which are Thakur and Serial Killer, as well as Redstone Dog, who are yet to catch up to the pack. But let's see if they are going to wait for these drivers. I think they are, because safety car is not pulling away, as we are well into sector 3 now. So it seems like we will have one more lap under the safety car before we have a green flag again. Right, so talking about the Drivers' Championship, as we wait, Noah is leading with 109 points. He won the feature race in Hungary, but had a DNF. He crashed out in the sprint race. Serial Killer is P2 in the championship with 89 points, and it's really close between him and Arjun. And in this race, since Serial Killer's Redstone Dog gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, and I think that was probably an overtake under the yellow flags on Thakur. So yeah, so Serial Killer is last right now, and this will really help Arjun because they are separated by just 1 point. Arjun, who also DNF'd in the sprint race in Hungary. Sid Venkatesh is P4 with 23 points, and PSI Legends, who is not racing today, with 71 points. So that should give a lot of motivation to VFix, who is P6 in the championship. He missed the first race in Bahrain and was back for Spain as well as Hungary. So I think since he's leading the race right now, he should be confident of getting a lot of points over his competitors and claw his way back into the championship. But yeah, talking about VFX, as he is still leading this pack around the circuit, he had some really good overtakes in the, as that's a corner cut by Arjun under the safety car. I'm not sure if he got a warning for that. But yeah, VFix made some really good overtakes around Hungary, as Arjun did in Spain, and we are hoping that this circuit, since it does allow overtaking, or it's relatively easy to overtake and there are good overtaking zones with long straights, we should be seeing plenty of racing action over here. Right, so I think this is the last lap under the safety car, and let's see VFX, and let's see if the safety car pulls away or VFX is becomes the, yes, the safety car is in this lap as you see on the bottom left. So safety car is in this lap, and the drivers would be hoping that they have optimum temperature in their tires before VFX decides to pull away. So there's a considerable gap between Nova, or rather in front of Nova, as VFX, I think he has decided to go, has he? He has. So VFX has gone, and I think there was a lot of gap between Nova which has quickly reduced, but further behind, that's Herschel and Oxidized Ray. So that's a teammate battle which is happening right now, as Herschel is on the inside, and let's see if he can dive on the inside. He gives enough space to his teammate, and as Abhi, and that's Oxidized Rage, or rather, who has DNF from the session, as Nova is trying everything to get past Venkatesh. He knows Caesar is just behind him and is coming for him. Caesar having dispatched Phantom at the safety car restart, but that's a DNF for Oxidized Rage. I think that's his second or maybe third DNF of the season, because I think he did not finish the race in Bahrain, as well as Caesar is practically pushing Noah around the track and making good use of his super soft tires, which will have much more grip in the initial few stages. As let's ride on board with Caesar now and see if he can actually pull a move on Noah, who is trying to get past Venkatesh because he's losing time all the while. So this is as Noah is on the inside and Caesar is trying round the outside. Let's see if this one works. Caesar is still down the outside but gives enough space to Noah. So clean racing so far, but I think it's going to get just a little bit more intense the more Noah stays behind, as that's a slight tap I believe, but I don't think there would have been any damage because of it. And as Herschel, as Redstone Dub has lost a lot of positions as well. I'm not sure what happened. That's Nova around. That's Nova around the final corner. I think he lost traction just coming out of it. And this will invite Caesar to take P3 from Sid Venkatesh, and that is Sid Venkatesh's. Sid Venkatesh is braking hard, he does not want to give that position away, but he does, and that is Phantom who's behind Sid Venkatesh. And let's see if these two can play together to put some more pressure on Caesar, but nothing doing for now. And that's Phantom with a switchback on Sid Venkatesh, who hangs it around the outside, but Phantom should have the inside line going to the next corner. Let's see who comes out on top. As yeah, that's Phantom for the position, and I think that's good for the constructors that Phantom, being on the faster tire right now, is actually ahead. As further behind, Serial Killer has just overtaken Avi there, and we have a driver joining who will participate in the sprint race, as this is the closest battle right now between teammates, which is Phantom and Sid Venkatesh. So Sid Venkatesh could play smart here. He knows Phantom is quick. Phantom was the runner-up in the F1, or rather the season 1 of this F2 league. So if he can just be in the DRS of Phantom, and he could be pulled along, and because pit stops are pending, he could be fast in the race, as Nova is still going around, so he has not pitted yet, which is a little... In fact, let's follow Nova around. Does he have any damage? I am not entirely sure. does have damage. So Nova has damage, but not something which he knows that he has to put on the super soft tires now, and because he has already committed to an alternate strategy, he cannot pit early. So I think he will be going to at least lap 7. At the end of lap 7, that's when he will decide to pit. But this will really help out VFX and Arjun and even Caesar, who's one of the fastest drivers in this division or in this league and probably in the country. By his standards, probably took some time to get used to the car and the handling of the car on the fixed setup, but he is well and truly among the podium runners for now. He is already in the podium position, but the gap at the top is not really coming down to give us some more racing. But the closest battle is for P4 right now, as Sid Venkatesh is on the back of Phantom, who's not really pulling away on those super soft tires, and Herschel is just behind Sid Venkatesh and hoping that he can take advantage of any mistakes the drivers in front commit. Right, so the gap at front again has increased, so VFX pulling out a really good margin over Arjun to ensure that there is no issues with any undercut, as Sid Venkatesh goes round the outside of Phantom. So does Herschel. I don't believe there is a contact, but Phantom has completely lost it on the exit and is retired from this session. That is Phantom's car on the right, and he is retired, so that's another DNF for him. And has this brought out a safety car? Sorry, I missed if there was a message on the bottom left. But if this has brought out a safety car, this would really help Noah, because he can get a... Yeah, it is a safety car, because Red Stundub has just got a drive-through penalty. So it is a safety car, and this would again nudge the field up. But what we'll see now is, as we can see on the screen right now, we will have a difference in tire strategies, and everyone would be pitting, I assume, because it's a free pit stop, and it's a pit stop which is allowed, and it's a pit stop which is also mandatory. So yeah, we can expect everyone to be into the pits as we wait, and this will really help out Caesar as well, as he now is able to basically nullify the gap he has to Arjun and VFX, as VFX would not have liked this safety car one bit, because now the gap is gone and he has to do it all over again at the safety car restart. Right, so VFX is in the pits, so is Arjun, so is Caesar. Sid Venkatesh should be in the pits as well, and his overtake on his teammate Phantom actually caused the safety cars in front and retired, but Sid Venkatesh gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Caesar Killer, Abhi, Sonic, Nova. I hope he doesn't get a 5 second. He doesn't. As Thakur is still racing around, and let's see if he pits. No, he doesn't. So Thakur doesn't pit, and Red Stundub is too far out. But in terms of tires, yes, expected. Sid Venkatesh going on the super softs, and in the pit lane is all over the place in terms of cars in the pit lane. As I will try to reduce the game volume, it seems like it's too loud and I'm not being heard very well. Let me reduce it a little bit further. So Nishan, let me know if this is okay, if this is better, because I can't really talk louder than this, otherwise I'll have to scream. But yeah, at the first round of pit stops, or rather the only round of pit stops. Okay, it's better, thank you, Jin. We have VFX still leading, but I'm not sure what happened to Caesar. He has lost 4 positions. I'm sorry, this guy always cracks me up. That's Phantom again with a comment right after his DNF. So good that he's enjoying it, good that he's he's able to make fun of himself. But yeah, it's we all know he's fast, and I believe he is committed to driving on a wheel full time now. I'm not sure if that was what caused the DNF or the crash. Uh, but good. I hope he's back for the sprint race and he's able to put a good performance. But yeah, so as I was saying, so Caesar, I think he got held up in the pits. Maybe we should have focused on the pits when that happened, but he has lost 4 positions because of that. And in the whole track, we can see 2 people on the super soft tires, or which is Sid Venkatesh and Noah. So we'll keep an eye out on those as well. Is the safety car in this lap? It is. No, it's not. Sorry, that was someone else. So it will go around for one more lap, and then we'll have 5 laps of racing. Yes. In terms of penalties, I believe the only penalties so far are for speeding in the pit lane. Let's get a confirmation on that as well. Oh no, Redstone has a drive-through, right? So Redstone has a drive-through which he will have to serve after the safety car comes in, probably at the end of this lap. So it will be an issue for him to probably catch back to the pack, as I believe, yeah, Thakur has still not joined back. So while the position shows him in P4, he should be overtaken quickly at the restart because he has disconnected and is not really in control of his car, as that's the explanation from Phantom that he lost it at the exit of turn 1, as we saw when he was letting his teammate through. Maybe he shouldn't have, we wouldn't know, but Sid did seem faster. Probably the super soft tires were wearing off, and even after Phantom overtook Sid Venkatesh, Sid was able to keep up with him within DRS and was able to challenge for that position. Being teammates, probably they didn't want to fight as much and cost them time versus other teams or other drivers around them. But yeah, Sid is still in a podium position, but considering he has a 5-second penalty, it will be difficult to keep that, as we are again in the heart of the sector 2, and I believe safety car should be coming in this lap. So let's ride on board with Noah, as that's a confirmation. So let's ride on board with Noah at this restart and see how he gets along, and he's able to see Caesar in his sights again, so that's added motivation for him to beat his rival. But there are 2 cars in between which he needs to clear, and of course Caesar would be hoping to catch out a couple of cars in front again, as he did with the previous safety car restart. Right, so let's go back, and so I think VFix has spread, so that's VFix has gone, and Nova is right on the tail of Sonic Hawk. He's in the slipstream. Not sure if he has enough pace to catch him. I think he does, as both of them are trying to challenge Abhi for the position. As Nova goes, it's 3 wide in the turn 1. Let's see if they can get the braking right. It's just a little bit of contact, and Sonic Hawk loses a position instead of gaining one on Abhi. But up ahead, that's Caesar, who is going round, or rather, so the inside of Mercurius, inside of Serial Killer rather, and that's his position gained, as behind Nova has overtaken Abhi as well. And Sonic Hawk has lost a lot of positions again on the restart, as Thakur again losing positions. That's just because of his disconnections, and up front it has been status quo so far, and Sid Venkatesh would be hoping to make use of that tire, as all sorts of things are happening in behind, as Sonic Hawk does overtake, and Redstone has left the session, so that's a disconnection for him as well. And let's follow Nova around, and we can see Serial Killer challenge for the position uh, for Caesar again, because these are the two drivers who were close to each other at the safety car restart. And while as it's Noah goes really close there, as Tonic Hawk gets a 3-second penalty, so that's the first time penalty because of track limits we have had so far. And with 4 laps of racing, we are not really expecting to get a lot, as Sid Venkatesh on those tires puts the fastest lap. And here goes Noah as Redstone Shop has rejoined us, and let's see if he's able to. It's a double slipstream effect because of Caesar in front. Does Noah pull out for an overtake? He doesn't. He thinks the better of it for now and sticks behind Caesar Killer. As up ahead you can see Caesar, who is challenging Herschel, or he's not rather, for a position. But Noah has overtaken, almost there. There's a little bit of contact, wheel banging going on, but no damage to anyone. And he has overtaken Caesar Killer, so he's directly behind Caesar now on faster tires. Both of them going to the end as Abhi gets a 3-second penalty. And up front it's Sid Venkatesh who's challenging Arjun for a podium position or for P2. And if that penalty wasn't there, I think Sid Venkatesh is a real contender for the podium, as we have not got the intervals or the time intervals right now, but it seems like it's pretty close up front. So in fact, let's follow this one, as Sid almost ran into the back of Arjun, as VFX has not really pulled away as well on this medium tire. So Sid seems to be the fastest guy on track right now, and with Caesar catching up to Herschel, that would be a relief for him, because Caesar will get DRS of Herschel. That makes it all the more tough for Noah to overtake him into turn 1. But the traction which he will get, especially out of slow corners, is that's the confirmation of DRS being enabled, but I don't think he will get DRS on this straight. But that's the fastest lap from Noah. And up front, does Sid go for a move? He doesn't. So that's Nova and Caesar both trying to go for a move, as Caesar has gone for that move. He has overtaken Herschel, but Herschel will fight back. So Nova is sitting back and watching for now as the gap closes to Caesar again. And let's see if Nova can now take Herschel's position. He can. So that's Nova just behind Caesar again, and it should be a straight fight now, as there is a gap of 2 and a bit seconds to Sid Venkatesh, who is looking like he will lose out on that podium because of the penalty. So what this means is this is a fight for the final step on the podium. VFX and Arjun are quite way ahead, and there are not enough laps to catch them. So VFX and Arjun will finish P1 and P2 if it stays like this. But since Sid Venkatesh has a penalty, it is Nova who is looking good here for the final place on the podium, because of his tire advantage, because of the DRS he has as he's going through the inside. That's a really dangerous place to overtake, as these two go side by side there. And Nova I think yeah, he has made the move there, so he has made it stick, as we see from Herschel's point of view, as Herschel goes wide into that corner and has to cut back in, as Caesar gets a time penalty. So that's a time penalty for Caesar. That's a 3-second time penalty, and this brings Herschel into play for the position in P4 because of that penalty. So Nova, with a fastest lap again, is just banging in really good lap times right now, and he should be comfortable for this position. But I don't think he's done yet, is he? He's 2 seconds behind Sid Venkatesh, and if he can now overtake Sid Venkatesh, maybe in the next, that's probably too optimistic what I'm looking for, but yeah, I think that's P3 sealed for Nova, as we're following Herschel. And so what Caesar would be hoping right now is if he can put enough pressure on Nova and force him to commit a mistake, not from a point of losing track position, because there is not enough time to get that back, but Nova does get it. So just as we were talking about it, It's about the time penalties right now, and I think that's what Caesar was probably trying to do, to force him into a mistake where he gets a time penalty and lose his track position as well. So for now, it seems like it will be Herschel who will finish P3. So it has all turned different here, and that's Sid Venkatesh, who will be probably going for a move here. Is pulled out of the slipstream, and let's see if he can run around the outside. He tried, but I think that is Arjun still on that position, and he really doesn't need to fight Sid Venkatesh here. He knows, or probably he doesn't, because if it's under safety car, he might have thought that that penalty can be removed later on. So he has to fight right now because does not have the knowledge of why the time penalty was given to Sid Venkatesh, as this is the last lap now, and VFX with a 2.7 seconds of lead has to just go around the circuit for one more time before he gets the win. As in front, that Sid Venkatesh and Arjun. Sid Venkatesh does get the position there, and Nova West will follow, or rather tries to follow, but Arjun will close the door quickly on him. And from Caesar's point of view, this is how it's looking. It's 3 car battling for the places on the podium right now, and Nova does stay behind, but it's looking good for VFix, and it's looking good for Arjun as well as Herschel for those positions right now. The time penalty as Nova goes down the inside, there's contact there, and Caesar will come through. He does. So Caesar is through, and let's see if he can take Nova around the outside. That's a really good battle here, and almost takes it, but not enough. And that's Arjun who has to stay back for now, but he doesn't need to take any risks here. He will still get P2, as Herschel has all the while caught up because of battling. As Caesar and Nova, they know both of them have penalties, so Caesar going really deep into that corner and taking the inside line. So this is getting a real intense in the final few laps, as we are just not able to focus on VFX, who is just 2 corners away from taking his second win in this season. But it's VFX who rounds the final corner, finishes P1, and will keep that P1 as Caesar, or rather it was Sid Venkatesh who completely obliterated that final chicane or the final corner. It's Arjun who finishes P2, Herschel in P3, and Caesar and Nova both were chasing a podium at one point in time, but because of time penalties, both of them finished outside of podium. Sid Venkatesh, who finished P2 on the track, I think finishes P6, Sigil the Killer in P7, Sonic Hawk in P8, so Sonic Hawk will be on pole for the sprint race. But that was a brilliant race, as I've got a trophy, I don't know for what, but driver of the day is given to Caesar. We'll wait for the official driver of the day from the league admins. But that was the feature race, and it provided a lot of excitement, I believe, in the final few laps. So we still have a sprint race to go, and this will be an 11 lap race, and if the conditions are dry, we should be in for a good race on the medium tires for the entire lap. Yeah, so just to round out the final classifications, Abhi finishes in P9, Redstone Derp in P10, Vedant Thakur in P11, Phantom and Oxidized Rage could not finish the races, as Phantom has joined again, so he should be ready to go for the sprint race. And I believe we have Quick Killer as well, who should be joining us for the sprint race. So he will be starting last on the grid, but he did get a podium in Hungary, so that should be good. But Nova has the fastest lap as well, so that should be, I believe there are 2 points for the fastest lap in the feature race, so that's an extra 2 points. But It's a lot of points for VFX, who started on pole, and I believe he led every single lap and finished P1 as well. So he will be starting P8. So plenty of fast guys ahead of him as well when it comes to the sprint race. Arjun, Herschel, Noah, Caesar. So it should be a good race, and it is dry, so we should be seeing drivers on the medium tires. And let's hope that this race provides as much entertainment as the feature race did. Right. So that's the formation lap as Sonic Hawk is on pole. Cedar Killer in P2, Sid Venkatesh in P3, Nova in P4, as we see a car has probably overtaken someone under the formation lap, but that's fine. So Noah in P4, Caesar in P5, Herschel, who finished on the podium, in P6, Arjun in P7. We fix our pole sitter for the last race, as well as the feature race winner in P8, Abhi in P9, Let's Tundap in P10, Vedant Thakur in P11, Phantom in P12, Oxidized Rage in P13, and last driver on the grid is Quick Killer, who has just joined in P14. So let's just get a quick confirmation. I believe everyone should be on medium tires. Yes, there are, so no issues there, and no tire strategies at play unless people retire, or rather there's a safety car, or people have damage and they have to pit. Sorry, my mic turned off for some reason, and we are back. So yeah, we can see, so that's Serial Killer, and he has, I hope he knows this is a formation lap, because the speed at which he's going and the gap which he has to the people in front is a little questionable. Anyway, so that's, the rest of the pack is catching up, and now they will wait, and now they'll go a little bit more slowly to ensure that the tires are in good temperature, as it's Serial Killer who will line up on the grid first, but he will start in P2 on the front row nevertheless, and he will have to wait an awful lot of time before the rest of the pack finally set their cars on the grid. Right, so people are lining up, and we should be seeing the lights go out pretty soon. Let's find a good camera angle here, which we usually don't find at the first time of asking, but patience is the name of the game. Yeah, we still don't have it. It's fine, let's just follow Herschel now, who will, 5 lights are out, and we are underway as Sid Venkatesh again gets a blistering start. So does Caesar, and so does Herschel, and they will be challenging as Herschel. What a start from him again as he goes down into turn 1, as Serial Killer has kept the lead. So Sonic Hawk not really doing, as there's a car which has completely gone. That was probably Serial Killer who cut the chicane and has got himself a penalty, and I hope there's no damage to anyone so far, as there's 3 cars trying to go for the same corner, as I think that Sid Venkatesh just losing out in terms of traction there and a lot of track positions, as VFX is from P8 he started and he's already in P5, and Arjun Shah, what happened to him? Okay, I believe there would have been some incident. He lost all positions there. He doesn't have any damage, so he can still go on for the. He can still go for the rest of the race, but he lost a lot of positions there as Phantom is trying to battle Oxidized Rage here. As up front, it's Nova who's trying to get ahead of Serial Killer, and Caesar just watches back as that's an absolute dive bomb there, and Caesar is almost round. I think there was contact, but he's just able to save it, and he was just able to control that dive which he made, as VFix has gotten ahead of Herschel. So VFix is soon will, if Nova and Caesar and Serial Killer battle a bit more, and Herschel loses one more position to that Stone Dub, but if Nova, Caesar and Serial Killer battle a bit more, VFix will be right behind them. As now we are following Caesar, who is watching Nova, and Nova will want to overtake Serial Killer at the end of this. As there's a virtual safety car, so they have to slow down now. There's a virtual safety car. I'm not sure why I don't see any. Is that Avi? It's not Avi. Is there anyone in the pit? Is Sonic in the pit? Okay, so Sonic is not having the best of seasons so far, as he puts a set of super soft tires, which will go to the end as Phantom gets a drive through for speeding under the VSC, and we are back. The track is green again, and let's continue with this battle for the lead. As you can see that they are taking different lines. Nova and Caesar. Nova seems to be going a little bit wider on the entry and then cuts back in, as Caesar is Quick Killer gets another 3-second penalty, so he will have a hard time in getting those positions, or rather getting those points which he would have hoped for. He's P7 right now, but Sid Venkatesh gets a 3-second penalty as well. So when you compare this race with the feature race, it seems like drivers are a little bit more aggressive this time, and they're getting penalties with not even 2 laps of racing done. So as look at Caesar, he has gained all that time in just a couple of corners, and no one really would feel being held up right now as Redstone Dub has overtaken Sid Venkatesh just behind. And if you can see closely, VFix in that Carling car as Phantom has overtaken Quick Killer, who is overtaken by Arjun as well. So let's ride on board with VFX, as Caesar is probably trying to overtake Nova, who's trying to overtake Serial Killer. So Nova is through, and it seems like VFX will be through as well. Oh, he almost tried to, but he had to lift off because Serial Killer was coming back on the track. But that's Nova and VFX both overtaking Serial Killer, and VFX is just hanging behind for now, but he would be hoping to get that position as soon as he can to join his rivals for the battle for the race win. As yeah, he has still not made the move stick, and I think he might have to wait until the next DRS straight, as that's a beautiful switchback again. So it seems like he loves those switchbacks, doesn't he? If you remember Hungary last time around, he made a couple of those moves, and now Caesar is in DRS of Nova. So what do they do here? Do they continue fighting and allow VFX to catch up, or do they play it smart and ensure that they don't cost each other time, and then wait for a move? As behind, that's Phantom, who has gone really deep there and will have to give the question back to Arjun, and Phantom has lost his end plate. So not really ideal from his perspective, as the battle in front is just so close that we are not able to take our eyes off it. And Noah, as he puts a fastest lap, now this is the time. You can't really change your fuel settings here, so there is no fuel saving to be done, except maybe braking early or something like that. But behind is Herschel going on a move. He almost did, or he thought about going for a move there, but he stays behind for now. So it's getting a little close even for the last podium position here, because it's Herschel who's following Serial Killer, who is just behind VFX, and Serial Killer looks really competitive here while he has been overtaken by VFX, but it doesn't seem like that VFX is able. Serial Killer gets a 3-second penalty, so has Herschel and so has Phantom, so that should be, if VFX is able to keep it penalty free, which he usually does if you have followed our league. He is one of those drivers who very rarely gets a time penalty. So that is the podium seed for VFX, but would he be satisfied with just P3? I really doubt it. So he would want Nova and Caesar to fight more and more so as to ensure that they are able to slow down, or rather lose time for VFX to catch up. As behind, it's Let's Toned Up on Arjun, and I think there's a little bit of glitching going on, but Arjun defends well on the inside, as there is no way around for Let's Toned Up for now. Right, so Noah puts another fastest lap as Phantom is in the pits because of that damage to his front wing. He would be putting on a set of super soft tires, I believe, as Noah is comfortably ahead of Caesar this time around, and Caesar, probably like the feature race, would be hoping that he is able to force Noah into a mistake, as these two have more or less dropped VFX from the equation, as VFX, while the gap was 1.5 seconds some time back, it's more than 2 seconds now, and it's probably going to increase in the next few laps as Caesar goes a little bit wide but keeps it on the track. I don't think he would have gotten a warning for that. Herschel gets another 3-second penalty, so that will really hurt his position at the end of the race, as he's trying to chase Serial Killer around, and it seems like that he will have DRS. Yeah, he'll definitely have DRS on the back straight, but Serial Killer just seems to have the measure on him, and Serial Killer has dropped off from VFX as well, so that's probably P4 for Serial Killer, as Arjun behind is 9 seconds behind. So Serial Killer, who was the highest points getter around Hungary, will be P4, as that is Caesar, who has caught up to Nova again. So I think by a couple of tenths or maybe more he has caught up to Nova, and let's see if he's able to stay close in this final few corners where it's difficult to follow, if he can put on an overtake chance on Nova. But I think for both these drivers, what they're trying to do is keep it penalty free as they start lap 6, and with 6 more laps remaining, as we have completed 5 laps. I think he's behind for now, and he will stay behind, as Herschel is putting on a move on Serial Killer, and he completes that move. That's a good overtake around the outside, and because of its time penalty, but Serial Killer will have just 1 3-second penalty, yes, but Herschel has 5 in fact, so he has a 5-second penalty. Is a little bit difficult to do, as there's a yellow flag somewhere in sector 1. Was that Abhi? I think it was. I think it was Abhi who probably lost his car somewhere, but he's fine for now, as up front this is the closest battle we have right now, as Caesar will have DRS again on Nova, and this time he looks close, not for a move probably into this braking zone, but if he can be this close when they are on the main straight, on the pit straight, that is when his chance will come to put an on overtake, as Arjun gets a 3-second penalty. So a lot of penalties this time around. As I said, maybe the drivers are going a bit aggressive than usual as compared to the sprint race, and let's see this time around, as Caesar has Nova in sights and he should be going for a charge, as Sonic Hawk gets another 3-second penalty for track limits. Right, so here we go. That's the fastest lap from Caesar. He is in DRS and he will be gaining as Noah really can't run his trademark 1-5 wings around here. He is gaining, he's gaining, he's gaining. Let's see if he goes for a dive bomb. He doesn't, he thinks the better of it for now, and he stays behind for one more lap. But let's see if he can go good exit after the end of that corner. But I mean, more or less, both of them got a similar exit now. So it's status quo, and we will have to probably wait for the next time they come around this section of the track when they actually put an overtake. There is another battle going on, which is Phantom on Abhi, and let's see if Phantom can overtake Abhi. So this is exactly where Phantom DNF'd in the feature race, as he's behind Abhi for now, and since Abhi has a, or rather Phantom has a 3-second penalty, Abhi doesn't, so he will have to ensure that after overtaking him also, Phantom pulls out a big enough gap, as he has, because Abhi went wide, Phantom taking advantage of that. Abhi probably goes wide again, and that is Phantom into P7, and he should be having the inside line for the next corners. Abhi is trying to move around the outside. He keeps it for now, but I think, oh, he almost lost the car there. Good save from Abhi, but Phantom is through, and Abhi might have got a warning in the process as well. Up front, the gap is again, so the gap is never more than a second, but at the same time, it's not really enough for Caesar to get that move done, as it's Nova with the fastest lap, and basically these people are just trading fastest laps right now, as VFix is comfortable in P3, and I think both of these drivers who are leading the pack right now, they're just hoping for the other driver to get a penalty or rather force them into a mistake, because it seems like they are very evenly matched on pace, and while it's possible to overtake around Russia, but the layout of the track is such that it's a little difficult to follow in the third sector, and which is probably what's making Caesar fall behind a little bit after the long back straight, and probably lose some of its advantage, if not all. Right, so let me know in the comments. We have more than 3 laps to go. If you're watching right now, let me know your predictions about who will be the winner. We have P3 sorted in Vfx, and barring any mistakes from him, he will be winning, or rather he will be on the podium. But this is speed which is up for grabs, as this time Caesar does score for a move. Just as we were talking, he goes a little deep, but he makes that move stick, and Caesar is through. So that's Caesar up into P1, and this will now give Noah the DRS. So the roles have changed now. So just as I was asking for predictions, it's Caesar who has taken the lead for this race in Russia, and if Noah can do what Caesar did, stay behind for some time but ensuring that he has that DRS and then going for a move, he does get a good run out of the final corner where he has been strong all race, and he is gaining, isn't he? He is gaining and gaining. He'll go to the outside to make that move, as these guys have been battling all race round. Caesar has the measure of him this time around. He goes deep, but Noah will probably switch to the outside now if he can. He doesn't for now, so he'll have to wait for the next overtaking opportunity here, as these guys are absolutely going around here, as Noah has almost contact, but Caesar does keep the lead for now, and this is going to the wire right now. We have still 3 more laps of racing, including this one, and what a treat it is to watch these guys battle it out on the track. No time penalties, no setup changes. It's absolute raw pace, whatever they have in the car, and their determination to win the race and get those points as well as bragging rights, I must say. As Noah is in the DRS once again, I think he's a little bit far behind to make any kind of a move right now, and this is exactly where Caesar made his move, as Caesar tries to close the door, but Noah is hanging behind for now, and he knows that if he's just able to keep it a little if he's able to just be a little patient, his opportunities will come because of the pace which he has. But as he found out, and as Caesar found out for the last few laps, it is difficult to overtake around here if the cars are absolutely same, and because it's the lack of downforce which makes it really difficult to follow in the final few corners of the lap. As Sonic Hawk gets probably his third time penalty of the race, as that there goes Nova again. So let's see how Caesar tries to defend. This time he's in front right now. They almost bang tires, and this time Nova has, yeah, he's still behind for now, and he's running out of laps, isn't he? So like Caesar did, he will have to be a little more bold with how he approaches this battle, as P6 has caught up a little bit. Behind we see Redstone Derp and Oxidized both gaining positions on Thakur, who is still disconnected, I believe. Yeah, he is disconnected, so that's fine. But this battle, I'm sorry we are not really focusing on other drivers, but that's how entertaining and that's how intense this battle is, as Nova is losing time to Caesar now, so definitely not into the next opportunity is where he will be able to pass Caesar. But going on to the final lap, this might be his last opportunity to try to get that win from Caesar and ensuring he has a lot of points for the championship. Caesar has gone a little bit deep, but that has not really cost him much time, and it seems like if we see, we don't know how many warnings these drivers have, and yes, as I seen that, as Caesar, that's a moment, that is what Nova is looking for. That kind of mistakes is what he's expecting or hoping that Caesar would make to ensure that he loses time, as Nova gets a 3 second. That's exactly what we talked about, and Nova is round. Nova is round, and this will get VFX the P2, and that is exactly what we were hoping doesn't happen, where one of the drivers gets a 3 second penalty. And but in all fairness, Caesar was ahead when Nova got that penalty, so he might have won that either way. But what that has happened is, yeah, so Nova is in P3 and he will keep that P3, so that's probably fine, as he's losing a lot of time. Has he lost his wing, Nova? Let's ride. Yeah, he has lost his wing, so he will be losing a lot of time here, and if he's not careful, he might even lose the podium, because Serial Killer is just behind him, and while Herschel gets more and more penalties, he's really not going to finish on the podium. But if Herschel is able to catch Nova here, he might be getting a podium here. Let's wait, and because both of them have the equal amount of penalties, so if Nova has few more corners to go, is going wide almost in all corners. He goes wide again, and this is easy. I think this will be easy picking for Serial Killer. He has the DRS and Noah doesn't, and he will really regret making that or trying for that move, or rather probably getting a little bit over eager on the throttle, as Nova is behind. Yeah, Nova is behind Serial Killer for now, and that's how it will end up. So as we wait for Caesar to cross the line, Caesar wins the sprint race as he absolutely damages his car. Nova would have hoped that that would have happened on 1 or 2 prior laps, as Herschel gets the yeah, that's probably an unsolved penalty which he has. So Serial Killer does finish on the podium. Nova finishes P4, was fighting for the win, but that one mistake cost him 3 positions, or rather 2 positions. Herschel in P5, Arjun in P6, Phantom in P7, Abhi in P8. Quick Killer finishes P9, or rather Quick Killer finishes P8 ahead of Abhi. Sonic Hawk not having the best of the races in P10. Sid Venkatesh, who probably started on the front row, I believe, or was it P3, finishes P11. Redstone up in P12. Oxidized Legend, Thakurwa, who have disconnected from the session, I believe, finishes in P13 and P14. Right, so that's the end of the race, and we will try to get some of these drivers into our party chat and have a few words with them, especially the podium getters. Right, so please bear with me as I am trying to get these people in terms of. Right, so we have invited a few people into the party. Let's hope when they join in, we can have a few words with them. Yeah, so we have our first driver in, which is Serial Killer. Serial Killer, congratulations on that podium. A bit unexpected,
Hi, thank
should
you.
I say, in the
Yeah,
sprint race. Talk us through your race, please,
yeah,
and as well as the feature race.
yeah. So I'll start with the feature race. I don't know what happened. I had a really good start, and I made it almost into third place because I had the inside line, and I think Nova West just turned into me. So I'm gonna have to look at my stream and the official stream and see what happened. But that kind of pretty much did my feature race in at that point. I was able to fight back a little bit. I think I picked up a sixth or a seventh. And then I really didn't have any expectations for the sprint race because I knew the guys behind me were really fast, and obviously in a couple of laps they went past me. I was just trying to stay in the DRS zone for a while. I couldn't manage that, but I got lucky. I think Nova just dropped his throttle and got his wing taken out, or he just ran into the barrier or something. So that kind of put me in the position for a podium because I wasn't picking up as many penalties as.
All right, yeah, that was a really good race from you as well. As we have Caesar, are you here? Caesar, have you joined the party? And a gentle reminder to everyone who's on in the party to ensure that they click on always allow in their party settings so that we are able to hear you on the stream as well. So Caesar, talk us through your race as well, and especially that battle with Noah in the sprint race, and were you always hoping that he would get a penalty in the feature race as well? Because since you did get a penalty, and I believe you were trying to put some pressure on him so that maybe he is forced into a mistake.
Yeah, finally, first of all, congratulations to all the podium sitters. And finally, a podium for me as well in F2. Cars in which I struggle a lot, just mainly because I just don't play F2, but it's fun to drive something different than F1. Coming to the race, yeah, it was a good battle in both the races against Nova. It was unlucky that I got damage on my own in the feature race, and I had to go in for a wing change, and that costed me 3 to 4 positions once I came out of the pits. But I knew Sid had that 5 seconds penalty, and obviously the pace that Nova has in F2 cars, I knew that he will try to fight the cars in front and might in turn get a penalty. And that's exactly what happened. And yeah, I just took advantage of the move he made. I think it was serial killer. He made a move, and then I just made my way through behind him. And yeah, I think in the final lap I overtook him as well to take what I believe was P4 in the end. But in the sprint race, it was a different ball game. I was playing the patience game. I knew VFix, who had multiple wins in the past. The strategy on my end was to use Nova to pull myself away from the pack behind, and once I knew I had the gap, go for the attack and possibly try for the win. Fortunately, he put the foot on the pedal too early than he would have liked, and he spun, so that gave me quite a bit of a breathing room towards the end, because it was the final lap and I knew that with the DRS he would try everything to overtake me. But yeah, I think fortunately for myself, he lost his car and I was able to just cruise towards the finish line and take the win.
Absolutely, it was a really intense battle between the two of you, and we were almost for the entire race we were focusing on the two of you because it was so close, and I think that was a really calculated move by you as well when you actually overtook him at the end of sector 2. So well done, Caesar, and congratulations on
Thanks.
the race win in the sprint race.
Thank you.
VFix, before coming to you, we would like to talk with Herschel. If you're here, Herschel, are you here?
Yeah, hi. Hi, yeah.
Congratulations on your podium in the feature race. I believe people in front got a lot of penalties which enabled you to take that podium,
Yeah,
but nevertheless, a great drive from you. So, talk us through your race, please.
thanks. I really did get a great start at the beginning. Was into P2 at the start. I don't know why I got shunted from the behind, and I guess I lost my rear at the start and fell back at the in ninth place, I guess. And then after that, I really got lucky with people having penalties at the front, so that really put me in a great position at the race finish. In the second race as well, I don't know why I picked up a 5-second penalty for an illegal overtake on quick killer, I guess, because I was pushed out of the track at the race start, on turn 1. So I'll have to look at my stream again and see what was wrong there.
Right, please take it to the stewards if you think that there was any penalty which was debatable, but nevertheless, a great race from him. And what is your mantra for the starts? Because I believe you got a really good start for both the races as compared to the drivers around you. So there must be something different you're doing compared to others, because I think you got a really good start for both the races.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I don't know how I get those starts, but I really enjoy racing.
Okay, maybe we'll watch your telemetry a little closely next time to see what you're doing to ensure such great starts, because I'm sure others would like to know as well and would want to be more competitive in that aspect. But nevertheless, well done, Herschel. Feature
Thank
race
you.
podium brings in a lot of points, so I hope you enjoy that. Right,
Yeah.
so coming to VFX, the only driver who is on podium for both the races. So VFX, I believe the first race was pretty boring for you, if I may say so. You started on pole, while there were a couple of safety cars, but you led from start to finish. But describe your feature race as well as sprint race, because in sprint race definitely you had to make a few overtakes. I think one of them was on Cyril as well, who's here.
I mean, I know it's Russia is a pretty standard track. So I knew that it'd be a more straightforward race here than some of the craziness that we saw in Hungary and Spain. Just tried to get myself on pole. Saw that Nova was on medium tires for the feature race start, and that's when I knew I had him, because you have to get such good launches here, otherwise you get bogged down in traffic. So I knew as soon as I cleared Nova, I knew I pretty much had it. But those safety cars just gave it a little bit of doubt, because I was like, maybe after you've done the second safety car, which Phantom crash caused, that was a bit of bad luck because I was just starting to pull away and then it got pulled back in. So I had to go on those mediums. I was not as comfortable on the mediums compared to those super softs. So yes, I mean, it was pretty. It's a bit scary, but I pretty much had it under control. And then as for the sprint race, I mean, just try not to get taken out in turn 1 is my mantra. And normally, because there's always an incident and turn 1, so that automatically brings me up 2 or 3 places. And then after that, it was just about picking off. I think I picked off Herschel and Serial Killer, and then just trying to catch up to Caesar and Nova. trying to making sure that if one of them made a mistake, I was there, and luckily Nova made a mistake, and that's good for my championship
One of
hopes.
them actually did. And what were your thoughts when you saw Nova like almost in the wall? I think when you were around the final corner, were you were you sure that you have the P3 in the bag, or were you at all concerned at all in terms of P2 rather, not P3? And please let us know what is your love for the switchbacks moves which you made. I think you made one again on Serial Killer in Sector 2. So what is it about? How do you approach an overtake? How do you put the guy in front in pressure so that you can probably make a move on them?
I mean, for me in F2, it's way easier because a lot of people struggle with the lesser downforce. So I just try and force them into like really wide positioning where they do not want their car to be. So even if they're ahead of me into initial turn, I can always get on the drive because the drive through is it's more important than positioning rather than in Formula One where it's the opposite. So most people don't have that into their mindset. They defend like it's in Formula One. So that's the trick, that basically a mantra that I have to use. It's
Right.
also the easiest way to avoid stupid collisions that will put me back into places later on. So
That's
that
very
is.
true. That's very true. But nevertheless, congratulations. We fixed a great haul of points for your championship fight, and I believe you should be climbing up a lot of places after that performance. A double podium in Russia. So really good performance, and thank you for all of you to join this party chat and sharing your views on the podium performances. And that's it from my end in the comms box. We will be signing off for now, and we'll see you next time around for another round in the F2 Championship. That's it from us, and good night, and take care of yourselves. Good night.